What makes Rwanda more uniquely positioned for sustainable value chain development compared to other emerging markets? Please.
Is this working? Okay. May I stand up?
Yeah, welcome, please.
Yeah, my mouth doesn't work unless my legs are moving. So thank you very much. So the issue here is the value chain, right? The chain of companies that creates value that you can try to sell outside the country. How many people have heard of the phrase, the value chain, before in their studies or in government? Okay, great. So I'm going to tell you the story of a value chain that doesn't work, because usually you learn the most from failure, not success. And then I'm going to explain why things are going so well in Rwanda. So I was working in Colombia, the land of those mercenaries in the Congo, right? I was so disappointed to hear that, because I love the Colombian people too. And I lived there for 7 years. And one of the things I had to work on was taking the leather products and helping them export to Europe. But it's a really hard thing to do because Italy is in Europe and Italy produces the best leather goods in the world. But I decided I'm going to work hard. So I went to the exporters in Bogota, in Cali, in Medellin, and I said, why can't you compete with the Italians for market space in Europe? And they said, it's not our fault. No es nuestra culpa. It's not our fault. I said, whose fault is it? It's the tanneries' fault, because they don't give us the right quality of leather, because they have no competition, because we're in an import substitution economy, so they can give us whatever they want. This guy's nodding at imports. He's lived through the import substitution somewhere. I know he has. So I said, well, I'll go to the tanneries and I'll ask them what's the problem. And I go to the tanneries and they say, no es nuestra culpa, it's not our fault. It's the slaughterhouses. When they kill the cows, they get more money for the meat than they do for the hide or the skin. Okay, all right, so I'm a good researcher. I've got this figured out. So I go and I talk to the slaughterhouses, and they say the same thing. It's not our fault. It's the ranchers' fault, because they put the barbed wire around the cows, and then the cows are suffering from the biting flies of the region, so they scratch their hides against the barbed wire, and they destroy the hides. So I said, okay, we're almost there. So I go to the rancheros, the ranchers. I say, guys, why are you using barbed wire and destroying the hides of the cow? Because everybody downstream can't do a good product. It's your fault. And they said, no es nuestra culpa. Es la culpa de las vacas. It's the cow's fault. The cow's fault, yes. Las vacas son estúpidos. We have dumb cows in Colombia, and that's the problem. So you see the case study, right? No one's accepting responsibility. There's no competition in the country because of the closed regulatory systems, right? And so they don't have to cooperate. They don't have to trust each other. They don't have to innovate out of the situation, because someone is always blaming the cow. Now, why is this important? Well, first of all, in Rwanda, we love our cows. The cows got a standing ovation in Rwanda. So what's going right with Rwanda? First of all, we embrace competition as a force for positive changes. It spurs human initiative. We feel like we learn from competition, because even when we fail, we learn why we failed, and because we're Rwandese, we upgrade and we innovate and we make things work. Second, We embrace novelty. We want to find new ways to compete. So we have conventions in Dallas and Rwanda Day in Chicago and San Francisco and Atlanta and Washington and even I think London, right? So we're embracing new things. One of the most important topics is what the sociologists call spontaneous sociability of the Rwandan people. You actually tend to trust each other. When you meet each other in these crazy places, you tend to trust each other. That's what Francis Fukuyama called spontaneous sociability. America had this once.
Wow.
This was one of America's great secrets, is when an American met another American, he tended to trust them whether they knew them or not. And that's not going so well in America now. This is what you need to preserve. One of the reasons that the revolution was won so rapidly was because when people in the diaspora from Uganda, from Burundi, from Congo, from Brussels, when they all met each other, they had preserved their culture. They played the same games. What's the name of that game when you take a circle, a branch, and you roll it, and then you throw spears to it? Uguiro, what's it called? Who knows this game? All the people in the diaspora played the same games, ate the same food. Did you know the name? Yeah. What's it called? Uziga. Yeah. You all played that as little boys to see who could be the leaders in the village. It didn't matter if you were in Congo or Burundi or Uganda. You all played the same games. You ate the same foods. You had the aspirations of returning to the motherland. And that's something that most countries don't have. And that's why we're here today, too, to continue that kind of process. So the outlook for Rwanda is outstanding. You embrace competition. Your rules are clear. You pay your taxes better than most people in Africa and around the world. You have a shared vision. You're optimistic about the future. And that's why your value-creating chains, your value chains, are succeeding at a very high rate.